Me too. I don't think God's really like afraid of that. Like,
Yeah.
like if we had a God that was really scared of us thinking, it'd just be really weird and like creepy.
Really weird. Yeah. And on a deep sense, that is encouraging to me, I guess, that like I don't need to be afraid to find truth, right?
Right.
That would be silly if I was, because yeah, like if you're afraid that what you believe is wrong, then it's not true. And it's like, don't believe in it.
Like, like you've already just established that you don't have the faith that you're pretending you have, or that you thought you had. You know, and that's the bigger deal. Mm-hmm. Like,
it's more like maybe it's because people don't appreciate the difference that there's like their beliefs and maybe like some true religion or true like truth.
Yeah.
like
really truthy
true
truth. Yes.
Truly true. Yeah. People feel like it's the same thing. So it's like if they prove themselves wrong, then they're actually proving Christianity wrong. But like they're two separate things. What is in your head and what Christianity actually is maybe supposed to be are different things necessarily. Like,
and that's okay.
That's okay.
Well, it's not great, but like, but we've been screwing it up since the beginning. Like, you know, it's instant after instant in the Bible of like, you know, there's missing verses where Jesus just slaps himself in the forehead. Like,
what do you mean?
There's the Transfiguration, where Jesus goes up on a mountain and is like, hey guys, watch this. And he's got Peter, James, and John with him. And he turns into full, real, glorified Jesus form. And then two other glowing beings come down. I want to say it's Moses and Abraham or something like that, but I don't remember off the top of my head. And,
sure, we'll go with that.
And they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Let's build shrines here. And Jesus is like, no, that's not what that's for. No. Well, part of here, I'm going to show you a cool trick. You know, like, you know, the next example is like a ministry of 3 years, and you're told that, you know, the 12 disciples are there from the very start, and he's constantly like, you know, I'm the Lord God, like, and then at the you know, everything's, you know, do unto others as you have done unto you. It's that, you know, that just love each other sort of mentality. And they hit Jerusalem the last week of his life, and he's like, hey guys, go buy some swords. And they're like, okay, yeah, let's do that. And they get to Gethsemane, and they're, you know, he's trying to pray and they can't stay awake. And he's like, no, come on, guys. Like, literally, we've only got a couple hours left of the whole ministry. You know, stick around a little bit longer. And they fall asleep again. And then Judas and the temple guard and everyone shows up. And instantly one of them, and I'm going to guess it was probably Peter, cuts the ear off like a servant.
Yeah.
Like, he even, like, hit the unarmed guy. But, you know, for Jesus, it was like, okay, what part of the last 3 years made you think that this was when we were going to begin, you know, a physical uprising? Like, you know, we've got, and then just straight into the ministry, you've got the early church fathers trying to enforce circumcision, you know, to non-Jews, and we've always been doing it wrong.
Sure. Well, you know? You I don't know, you exist in your paradigm of thinking, and I don't know, what better can you do? I mean, the thing that I'm contending with, and I think everyone has to contend with in the time that they live in, is what are those things that feel like truthy truth, but are really just an artifact of, I don't know, just some natural thought process, you know, like not understanding that you're not supposed to physically cut off someone's ear. You metaphorically cut off their ear, you know, whatever. Because it generally sounds like heresy when you are like, you know, Jesus was literally crucified for being a heretic. Well, is that fair to say? I don't know.
Yeah, basically.
More like he was just... Yeah, because the Jewish people were advocating for that.
They couldn't kill people without Rome's permission.
Yes, but they were the real...
But the only reason the Romans were doing it was to get them to calm down.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's... So, generally, when you're actually getting closer to the truth, it just sounds like heresy. So that's a tricky situation, and I think that's a tricky situation I'm in, and probably a lot of people are in. I don't know.
Well, it's important to remember that when you die and you get to the gates of heaven, there's going to be a quiz. And if you've got, a passing grade on your theology quiz, then you get into heaven. I mean, that's how it works, David.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah, what gets you into heaven? Figure that out. It's... I mean, the extreme... Taking that joke that you just said to the extreme, it's like, it doesn't matter what's in your brain, it just matters the person that you are. It's kind of an extreme version of what you just said, but same deal. It's like, it doesn't matter your thoughts, you're thinking the right theology or whatever. It matters, like, the character of your soul, let's say, or whatever else. And if that's the case, then it's kind of... It's fine for me to say, like, I want to be like Jesus. I want, like, the end result of my person to look like the perfect Christian. But also the things I'm thinking don't line up with Christian theology. So maybe it's not useful to use that term or something.
Yeah, I mean...
Or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I should say that or just, like, try to move the term over. Because I don't know. I don't know what point it's, like, useful to use what term.
It's like you like to think that you could figure out salvation by just trying to act in a way that you're not going to feel guilty. And, like, we have friends that I know would start getting their pitchfork ready if I were to, like, make that as what Christianity is. But yeah, like, we know it's not a quiz. We know that, we know that biblically. We know the thief on the right hand of Jesus on the cross, said, "Oh wow, you really are God," and he's like, "You'll be with me today in paradise."
Right.
And let's not get it. Basically, he was saying you're going to go to heaven. So, no quiz. It's that realization. But, what happens for a person who doesn't get the luxury of being crucified and being near death when they get saved?
Yeah, I think most people would like the joke that you made about how you don't get to heaven, there's a quiz. Everyone would be like, haha, yes, that's so true. But at the same time, if you said something that apparently violated, mainstream Christian theology, they would probably doubt if you're going to heaven.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's that level of, like...
What point are you trying to make about the thief exactly? Are you saying there is a bit of,
he had zero theology right?
Sure.
He didn't have his, he didn't have his, like, perspective on women and ministry lined up, like...
Maybe. We just don't know.
Like, tithing, it's not like he had gotten everything else right. Like, the guy was a thief, and he was so much of a thief that they're finally like, we're going to crucify you. Yeah. Like there's so many steps before that.
Right.
And so to that level, I think you have that perspective. And, you've had people try to reproduce that since then. You've got, last rites, you've got, deathbed conversions and stuff like that. Like, people want to get to that, like, in that like, oh no, like, what happens when somebody dies suddenly and unexpectedly? They don't have that chance to become right with God.
Right.
And they were playing the game of, like, I'll get saved later. And we've got a lot of, like, biblical or church literature and tracts and stuff about like how that's a bad idea.
Yeah, God will not be mocked.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, if you do get there, like, and, you know, and it's that whole, the same thing with like, faith without works is dead, but, you know, but works alone will not save you. It's like, yeah, you know, a change in your heart will cause certain things to happen. And it's a, like, the physical, the symptom is a mentality shift. Metaphysically, you know, your soul has been, I don't know, washed clean. And
don't hit my elephant.
I've been taking care of your elephant this whole time.
See,
trying to get to the elephant inside.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So the symptom is the shift in personality, maybe even.
Yeah.
Or mentality.
I like mentality. I think that
whatever the truest character of your soul might be, you know, represented as.